Week 12 NFL recap. So, for those of you who may be new to the program, we each have a minute to recap a game, and we shall start things off with our guest, Mr. Khalil Alston, as the Browns beat the Steelers 24-19. What did you think of that game, Khalil?
I watched that game. That game was actually entertaining, kind of, but I didn't expect the Browns to win it. I think, like George Pickens said, it was the weather, but this is the NFL. You can't use that as an excuse. But it was a good victory for them, and I think they could build off of it. It's not going to do much, but it was a good victory.
Toddy, Baker Mayfield. That was a poor execution, but he stole Tommy DeVito's signature celebration as the Buccaneers beat the Giants 30-7.
Yeah, this was an ass kicking. Bucky Irving. A lot of people didn't really know who he was before the season started, but if you know ball, you would know that he went to Oregon. He balled out, and he was that guy at Oregon. Mike Evans came back in this game. He, showed some good signs. Mr. DeVito, he was getting his ass kicked the entire game. Like, if you'd have watched some of the hits they took in this game, it was really bad. And then Malik Neighbors' all-time interview in the locker room, he was like, I wasn't getting the ball until it was 30-0. So ask Brian Daboll about the play calling. Yeah, it's an entire shit show in New York right now. And for both teams, I would say, the Jets and the New York Giants. But, I mean, just right now, it just doesn't look good for New York football.
Not at all. And Kaz, the reigning, defending, back-to-back Super Bowl champion Chiefs rebounded from their first loss of the season as they beat the Panthers in Carolina 30-27. You're still muted, Kaz, on our end.
He was going to turn off.
Yeah, I got you, my man. No, I'm surprised that I'm surprised by the score. I mean, the Panthers battled. They won. Chiefs won by a field goal at the end. Harrison Butker. That's just the Chiefs this year, man. I don't like them because I know what's going to happen in the playoffs. I know they're not playing good all season long, and they're still winning games, and they're playing down to the level of some of their opponents and keeping these games close. But at the end of it all, you're seeing what's happening. Mahomes and the Chiefs find a freaking way to win another game. But this is a game that they were supposed to win. So I don't really care about the score. It could have been 54-53 to win against the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Or it could have been 6-9. They were going to beat the Panthers. They should have beat the Panthers. Shout out to the Panthers for battling, though. I mean, that was one of those games where, the spread was crazy and the Panthers definitely covered. So just one of those games, a Vegas trap game. That's all. Panthers didn't win. They weren't supposed to win, but covering that spread definitely lost a lot of people some money. So.
Khalil, I'm going to toss this one to you as the Dolphins beat the Patriots 34-15.
Yeah, they did what they're supposed to do. Not really surprising. The Patriots are having a less than ideal season, and Tua is just getting his groove back. So I feel like that was a morale boost for them, and everything should be going smooth sailing until they play us. So let's see.
Toddy, in the NFC East, the Cowboys pull off a shocker as they go into DC and beat the Commanders 34-26.
Yeah, this was a kind of a back and forth game down the end of the stretch. Turpin had that insane punt return, I think it was. He did like a crazy spin move and was down the sideline. Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin. I guess we're going to be hearing that for years to come. Down the sidelines, I mean, he was a sensational type of play. It was probably one of the crazier plays of the entire day. Probably the craziest play of the entire day. And then for it only to be just absolutely, gut checked when the kicker misses the extra point. I mean, you saw that play and you're like, they're going to do it again, aren't they? They had the Hail Mary earlier in the year. And then you see Terry McLaurin's running down the sideline, 80-yard touchdown pass. And then you're like, they're going to win in overtime. It's going to be a crazy, insane play that, happened again to the Commanders for it only to be ripped out. to have that extra point change. It was insane play. I wasn't watching too much of that game because I was heavily invested financially into the Bears game. I'm pretty sure Sean will let me talk about that game, but I saw all the stuff like on Twitter. I was like, bro, what the fuck is going on in the Commanders game? And I was like, bro, Terry McLaurin just tied the game up, and then like he missed the extra point. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? So yeah, great, insane game. The Cowboys, they needed the win bad.
Yeah, Austin Seibert was the name, or Siebert, however you pronounce his last name, was the kicker for Washington. And I saw a post of a photo of him and his daughter, like on the sideline at the game, and someone quoted it and said, "Don't worry, you're going to get to spend much more time with your dad going forward." That's what we call Cole World. Kaz, in the AFC South, the Titans beat the Texans 32-27.
This was me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my internet spiked out. You said Texans game?
Yeah, the Titans beat the Texans 32-27.
Yeah, that's freaking bullshit. That's what that is. Hey, no, for real, man. I noticed throughout the season, I was like, okay, the Texans are low-key not good this year. And you can blame injuries, it's fine. But like they're in a very weak division right now. And they're winning their division. But this isn't it's not really impressive. And this game just screamed trap. It just really did. It was between this game and the Panthers Chiefs game where I was like, something weird's gonna happen here. Something very weird's gonna happen. And so just seeing how the game played out, we really had a really good game. Levis played well. Tony Pollard played very well. And then the Texans just didn't, but they did. They didn't, but they did. It just was all around just one of those games where it's like it's a division game, and they allowed the Titans to be in the position that they were in, and it came down to the wire, and they executed, man. I don't understand how. I don't understand why, but this Texans team is looking like chopped liver when it comes to the playoffs. Unless something turns around drastically for them, this is a really bad loss. This is a loss that they don't want on their record, even though they're still going to win the division, like most likely. This is a loss that they don't want on the record. So the Texans are vulnerable. I think that they were a little bit exposed even further than what they already were this season. There's a lot of excuses for C.J. Stroud, again, not having Nico Collins for a few weeks, losing Stephon Diggs, et cetera, et cetera. But Joe Mixon, he's been balling out this season. The Texas defense hasn't been playing terrible this season for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. You're sitting at 7-5 in a division you should sweep. Just not a good look. So I think the Texans are starting to look a little foolish right now, and this game was one of those ones that I think exposed them.
I think you nailed that. And Khalil, the NFC North leading Lions beat the Colts from that AFC South 24-6.
Not surprising. They went out there and did what they were supposed to do. I actually enjoy watching them play. The running backs are actually, I feel like they're the best duo in the league, and it's actually enjoyable to watch. And they execute. They execute on both sides of the ball. They can play defense. They play offense, and they went out there and did what they were supposed to do.
They certainly did. And another team from the NFC North that handled business like they were supposed to was the Minnesota Vikings, who won in overtime 30-27 against your Bears, Toddy. The Bears.
So I was financially invested into this game. I had the Lions minus 7.5, as most of the country did. That hit. I also had, I'm trying to think who the other team that I had the Bucks, just threw them on money line. The Bucks, that was easy. And I took the Bears money line. Kind of going back and forth in the game. I thought Caleb looked really good in this game. I thought he played well. The Vikings, Jordan Addison just went off. They were not able to stop him because they could try to take away Justin Jefferson. I feel like they did for the most part of the game. But Jordan Addison torched them. Aaron Jones, Khalil's old running back, I think he scored a touchdown. It was like the first time a running back scored a touchdown for the Vikings in like several weeks. I got angry. I turned the game off. I'm not gonna lie. The Bears got down. It was like 24-10, and I was just like, they're not gonna come back. The Bears score late. I'm like, okay, they score. Like, I already made another parlay. Like, I was just like, it is what it is. The new rule is you have to report the onside kick so everyone knows that's coming. And I'm just like, okay, like no one's gotten an onside kick at all this year, so why would the Bears get an onside kick? They recover the onside kick, and I was like, holy shit, do we have what's going on here?
Three
Bang, bang,
of 36. I'll just add that stat because I heard it during Monday Night Football. 3 of 36 teams are converting the onside kick this year.
Okay,
So one of the 3.
They drove down and got in field goal range. I'm like, oh shit. Remember the last time the Bears kicked a meaningful the kick got blocked. I'm like, this shit's gonna happen again, isn't it? It's gonna happen again. There's no way. I couldn't watch.
Or the doink.
So watch this for me. I'm gonna go in the other room. I said, I'm screaming, did he kick it? He was like, yeah. Just didn't say anything. Just like, yeah, he kicked it. Did he make the field goal? Yes or no? Oh, yeah, it went good. It's good. And I'm like, oh, God, thank Jesus. We're going into overtime. The Niner game has started, by the way. I'm not watching the Niner game at all. Like, the game has started already. It's going into overtime.
Yeah,
I'm not invested in the Niners right now.
You didn't miss much.
Go into overtime. I'm like, okay. He's going to call tails because obviously tails never fails. He calls tails, it's heads. I'm like, oh, shit, the Bears are getting the ball in overtime. Like, bro, he's going to get a chance. They're going to drive down. They're going to score. I'm going to win money, and we're going to be good. I'm going to put on the Eagles. We're going to be good. Everything's going to be all right. I had the plan. You know when you already have money plan, like, you already know how you're going to spend the money. Like,
Chicago
you
Fire.
haven't won yet, but you're like, this is going to hit. I'm going to do this with it. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take a little bit away from myself, and then I'm going to spread it. I'm going to spread it all around. So I started doing that. Bears get the ball in overtime. Ball start, offense, 5-yard penalty. I'm like, okay, that's not a great start. Caleb holds the ball for too long, gets sacked. It's like 2nd and 25. I'm like, okay, this is happening. They go 3 and out. Give the ball to Sammy D. And I'm like, all right, it's Sam Darnold. Maybe he might try to turn the ball over. He goes 90 yards. 6 for 6. They kick the field goal to win the game. I'm like, hey, you know, I got an egg on my face. I bet the Bears again. Why did I do it? I just knew the Bears were going to pull it out this week. Why would they lose? I got an egg on my face. Kevin said,
in the league.
I sent Kevin the parlay before the day started. He said, why the fuck would you bet the Bears? Why? So they're gonna win. What do you mean?
I've been asking that question in my head to you, bro, since the day that Caleb Williams was drafted.
I said
he's
why,
the best quarterback in the league, Cass.
Why wouldn't I do it, right? I should have just took the spread. 3.5. We would have won. You wouldn't have gotten your heart broken. So now I'm looking at Thursday Night Football. Who do the Bears play? Oh, they play the Lions. Lions are 10.5-point favorites. God, help me. Stay
away from this game, brother. Please, just stay away, please.
Best quarterback in the league.
Khalil, I never said it was the best quarterback in the league. I never said that.
You said top
15. Top 15 is crazy. That's still saying the best quarterback in the league.
He's teetering. He's playing better than he was before. But all in all, in this game, I was financially invested in this game, and I got my heart broken. Again, the Bears. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I don't even know if Bears fans have more faith than I do.
I'm from the Midwest. You already know. I'm born and raised in Illinois. They're not having a good time, bro. But they ain't betting on. No, they ain't doing what you're doing. They ain't that crazy around here. They're not doing that. But they are mad.
It's a sickness. I need to get it treated.
Bears fans, they know better. They have been through enough misery over the years. Toddy is just getting a taste of it.
I don't know why I do this to myself. I gotta stop doing it.
Hey man, you're the same guy who said 2+ years ago that Caleb Williams was a top 15 quarterback in the NFL today without ever playing a
He
snap.
also said he's better than CJ Stroud. So,
and I'll just leave that. Hey, he stands on business. I respect it. I'll leave that for another day. Kaz, if you could compose yourself and talk about this AFC West matchup as the Broncos beat the Raiders 29-19.
Yeah, I mean, just another game expected. Broncos are, I believe you said you're sitting with some egg on your face. I'm doing the same thing when it comes to I've trashed the Broncos all season long. I've talked so down on Bo Nix all season long. I'm like, this guy's not good. This guy is not good. The only correct game that I called like confidently about the Broncos losing was when they played the Ravens. I said that they're going to get smoked by like almost 40, and they almost did. Other than that, the Broncos have been balling out. They have a really good defense. Their offense, their offense, like, I don't know how they do it. Cortland Sutton's now a guy again out of nowhere. I don't fucking know. They're winning games, man. And like, if you watch the games, they're doing it in a way where it's like, it's kind of like comfortable. It's not like it's like, oh God, the Broncos are getting lucky and just things are happening for them. Like, no, they're making shit happen. But I mean, they're playing the Raiders, one of the worst teams in the league, definitely the worst team in that division. They did what you're supposed to do in that situation, and that is, this is not a good team. Don't let off the gas pedal. Go out there and win this game handily. So, yeah, been dead wrong. And Grey Wolf knows he's somebody from my streaming community. He's a Broncos fan. I've been shitting on Bo Nix. I don't have my camera. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. You just cut out for just a moment, Kaz, and just for the audio only listeners, what Kaz was saying is Grey Wolf, a loyal listener on Kaz's stream, Kazzy Bear TV, as he said at the beginning of the show, I've been waiting to highlight these comments that he said right when we first got started with the stream. Grey Wolf said, "Broncos country, let's ride. I'm just happy we have a better record now in comparison to the last 8 years." And he says, "Trust the progress and don't get fancy with it."
I'm a Bo lever.
And that, no, I kind of have to be now. So, I mean, just to kind of keep it brief, sorry about that camera hiccup. But yeah, just the Broncos they're a solid team. They're the kind of team, they're like they're a weird team where it's like, I just would rather stay away from you when you guys end up making the playoffs, because they keep playing the way that they do. They're probably gonna make the playoffs. Like, they're gonna be like a 7 seed or something weird.
Play the Browns next week. You betting the Broncos, Kaz?
They are playing them.
That's right.
They're in. Yeah, hell yeah. No, the Browns aren't going on a streak. They're losing. So the Broncos are winning for sure. I'm not. Hey, Jameis is doing his thing, bro, and it's fun to watch. It's cool.
Jameis.
You know what I'm saying? Jameis, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? But let's just call it what it is. He gonna put up buckets on the best teams in NFL.
That game's in Denver.
Any team less than a number 1 seed potentially, he's going to shit the bed. So yeah, Broncos all day next week for sure. But yeah, Bo Nix is. I gotta shut up. Okay, I gotta shut up. The dudes. I'm not gonna pull you and keep doing things that don't make sense. Okay, they're good. I'm no longer talking about them. All right, just like you should stop betting on the Bears, Toddy. Please, my brother. From me to you, I need for you to stop. All right, so I'm gonna stop trashing the Broncos. You're gonna stop betting on the Bears, and we're gonna go to bed happy every Sunday night. I promise if we do that. So Broncos are a good team, and they handled those Raiders. So yeah, not surprised.
Toddy, if you could close us out with this last game. It was the game that we just watched on Monday Night Football. And for the audio-only listeners, we have a comment from our Instagram stream where Big Smooth says, "Chargers are, in all caps, banned from all parlays." And Toddy, you had a bit of a reaction when I displayed that on the screen. So if you could just harp on that comment a little bit, but also just take us through the Ravens beating the Chargers 30-23 in the Battle of the Harbaughs.
I was getting cursed out by a friend who was a Chargers fan and said, "Never pick the Chargers ever again. You are horrendously bad luck." I just liked the way that the Chargers were playing. Like, they were playing good. Like, and then, the Ravens came to town. They kind of got spanked. Lamar Jackson, who was also on my fantasy team, showed out. I thought he was accurate with the ball. He made plays with his legs. Derrick Henry made plays. Justice Hill had a 50-yard run. Zay Flowers, they were getting him involved. I just think that early on, the Chargers were able to get stops. Not so much later on in the game. And they weren't really able to move the ball down the field as much. John Harbaugh went for it. I feel like the turning point in the game is right before halftime. They went for it on 4th down, like on their side of, like they're on their 20-yard line. And they end up bing, bang, boom, driving down the field. Lamar hits Bateman down the sideline for a touchdown right before the half. I feel like that kind of swung the momentum of the game. I get the Chargers ended up scoring a field goal right before halftime to make it a 17-16 game. But I feel like just kind of after that, the Ravens just were able to control the pace of the game. They were able to get stops and they were able to score. And that's pretty much the nature of the beast. And, you know, Jim Harbaugh is 0-2 against his brother in the NFL. 0-2 or 0-3. Oh, they did lose that Thanksgiving game. I forgot about that game. Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the Ravens are a team that we all expect to be, like we all said multiple times on the podcast, that they're a top 5 team in the AFC. And I mean, this was a game that they had to have. They just, you know, coming off a loss against a brutal loss where they didn't score a touchdown against Pittsburgh. And tonight I feel like they wanted to flex their muscles a little bit and be able to score. And they put up a bunch of points against a really good team. Who I think the Chargers are a playoff team. And they made a statement win tonight in LA.
They did make a statement tonight in LA. And as Grey Wolf says, big bro beats little bro. It's the hierarchy. Jim got to sit at the kiddie table again. Maybe Jim will eventually get back at him for beating him in the Super Bowl, much to Toddy and I's dismay.